Hi, my name is Nick. This is my little channel I like to call Sunday Driver Rides. Thank you for joining me. It is appreciated. Today, the charger is out of my garage, which I will eventually get back to up at Mom and Dad's place. Don't worry, I'm not selling that. But look what I got. I believe, a first generation Hemi. So I'm trying to keep you Mopar guys still happy. Let's unload this thing and just go over it and see what we can and we can't do with it, shall we? All right, I got my OSHA approved straps on it. Let's see what we can break. Oh man, she makes the old truck squat hard, doesn't she? Come on back. What was that? No wood falling. Come on, roll. How did you move? Right. Cool. Okay, this thing is a behemoth. That's why I don't think it's a good idea to put it on the engine stand. You know what we're gonna do? Our goal is to see if this thing is loose and maybe even get it to run, hopefully. Let's just go right under the run stand with it. And yeah, let's just go on the run stand and go from there. All right, let's just do a quick walk around of it, you know. Chrysler firepower, that's cool. That's way cool. But it's pretty complete. It's got the carb, you know, coil, distributor, dual points, race car, water pump, fuel pump. That scares me. That looks to me like the oil filter housing. And it ain't all there. That's going to be hard to find. That's a bummer. Oh well. What else? Got the bell housing. I believe I got the transmission for this too at Mom and Dad's. You know, I mean, look at this. It's got the valve covers are complete. All right. Now that I've got it on the run stand, I started researching numbers and all that fun stuff. So I did. I just started scouring all my old books and whatnot. And here's what I found, okay? Chrysler Imperial. First engine number, location, LHAD, that's an LHAD, V8, top, front, center of block, okay? So when I went to the top, front, center of the block, I saw this number. If you can't see it, I'll read it. C52-8-58244. The last numbers I'm not worried about. C52-8. So C52-8. So when I went like this, I went, okay, C52-8. Where was it? Come on, focus camera. Sorry. Where is it? C52-8. V8. So I think it's a 1952. Okay? So when I go to this book, a different one, it's just, you know, different years. Sometimes they switch up. I go to a 1952 Chrysler. Look at that. They do the model designation, you know, the Windsor, the New Yorker. Look at the numbers next to them. C51, C52. What size is that? That is a 331, just like what we thought. Let's see what it makes for power. I'm kind of curious. 180 horses, 312 foot-pounds. That's not bad. Some torque. That's what those Hemis, I guess, were known for, huh? So, my understanding is, correct me if anybody out there knows this better than I do, but from the research I've done, this engine is a 331 out of a 1952 Chrysler New Yorker. So that's what we got here, I think. All right, now that we know that, let's see if we can get this engine, see if this thing's loose. I have high hopes, but yeah, let's find out. Oh, also, there's numbers on the back here on the long bell housing, I like to call it. I couldn't find anything in my books about those, and then there's a number also on the intake. I don't know anything about those. I couldn't find anything. Sorry, I'm not getting very good shots of it, but if you guys know what any of those numbers mean or where I could go to find out info, you know, it'd be appreciated. Just, I trust my books. My books have usually point me in the right direction. So it's just some of the books. It's the 52. This like the cutoff for this book. It's like 53 or 54. I kind of stunk, but whatever. So all right, let's see if we can get this thing unloose. Socket on the crank. Oh man. She's stuck. She's stuck hard. Oh, what? Oh. Well, I'm just loosening the bolt. Dang it. You get all excited. And you realize it ain't doing it. Oh, dang it, that stinks. All right, well, the best thing I can do right now is put some oil or something down the cylinders, some transmission fluid or knock her loose or whatever you want, and let it soak and come back to it and pray it works. All right, before we soak it, let's just take the valve covers off and just see what we got. I've got all the bolts and nuts off. Oh, it comes off easy. Ooh, that don't look good. This is not good. All right, so it doesn't look that great on either side, but you can tell somebody's messed with this. There's no other way that all of these push rods would be out. That one's like wedged. There's no way they would be off the socket of the rocker arms unless somebody took this off and messed with it. Yeah, I mean, even the top ones here are not right. Bummer. Now what? Kind of curious. That one's loose. That one's loose. That one's loose. Hey. That one's not loose. Not loose. Not. Okay. Yeah. I'm scared to look at the other side. All right. Fast forward a bit. I took off the intake. Not a big deal. All the bolts, I took off the rock arm assembly. It looks like the rock arm assembly is also held down by the head bolts. So that tells me that, you know, somebody was in here already. You could tell. Like I said earlier, if I didn't say earlier, well, I'm saying now. All the push rods were off the pivot points on the rocker arms. So somebody's been messing with this. So, you know, and there's also a couple bolts missing off intakes on one side of the intake. And it's just like somebody's been in here. So if I'm going to try to get this to run, I got to take these heads off. I'm not even going to mess around. So with that said, let's take this off. It was like, see how loose it is? So that just tells me somebody was in this. It shouldn't have been this easy to take off. So, ooh, we got some rust, which, you know, you got to expect that. A little bit of a lip, a lot of carbon. Oh, well. All right, it is what it is, right? Take off the other side and clean up these heads, huh? All right. Now that the heads are off, I put a little bit of transmission fluid in there. I got me a block of wood, and I've just been giving her a little bit of the beans. Try to bust it loose. I hit the other side a few times too. Let's see if we can get her to move. Look at that thing move. Yeah, right. Come on, you move. You know you wanna. Ooh, what's that chunk? I don't know what that is. It scares me though. Hold up. Come on, move. So I guess I'm going to sit here for a while and just keep on hitting it. Yay. All right, so I noticed this cylinder is it's pretty bad. Real bad. We're just going to do this. Clean up the rust. And we'll dingle ball it and make it somewhat presentable. Boy, that's bad. All right, it is the next day. I put acetone and what do they say? Acetone and transmission fluid in the pistons that were really bad. I tried to hammer on them yesterday with a wood block a little bit. Not enough to break the pistons, obviously. I mean, I'm using a wood block, but I even threw just a little bit of heat at it. I didn't get anything cherry red, anything stupid like that. I just threw my little propane bottle there to it. And I did, like I said, you'd see all the stuff I let soak. Let's all have a good laugh and try to turn it. See if it does it again. Oh, that was loud. Yeah, she ain't going nowhere. All right, I gotta think of something else. All right, fast forward a bit. I've got all the pistons loose. I can see them move when I rock the crank back and forth, except 2 pistons. So I need to drop the oil pan anyway. Let's drop this thing all the way. Let's see what it looks like in there. And then 2, if I have to, which I don't want to, but I think I have to, I can disconnect a connecting rod from the crank and maybe hammer it from the underside on that piston to get it to move. And I keep heating it and trying all that stuff, but it still just doesn't like it. So let's drop the oil pan and just see what we got, huh? Oh yeah, there's the sludgy mess I knew I was gonna find. Isn't that neat? Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, that's not oil, that's grease. Nice. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it doesn't look horrid, That was honestly what I expected for underneath. So yeah, all right, now I don't know, it's this one. It's the one that's really stuck. Oh, get your camera right. That one's really stuck. And then where's the other one? It'll be this one under here. That one right there, the nut, you can see. So yeah, I gotta get that loose. Let's figure it out. Okay, so here's my plan. This one is really stuck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take the cap off the connecting rod of this one. And that's why I got the yellow dots to make sure I don't flip the cap the wrong way onto the rod, okay? Take that off. I'm gonna take a hammer and a piece of wood in there and see if I can bust it up this way. I'm gonna leave this one over here connected in the back. In other words, that cylinder right there. And I'm gonna see if I can just rock the crank back and forth and see if I can get this one to break loose. This one is super, super rusty. So she's stuck bad. So I'm gonna see if I can just disconnect that one, hammer it from the backside and get it to move. That's my plan. Pray that it works. Yeah, this block of wood ain't the best for this. I'm gonna get something else. Okay, I don't want to hit that thing with just a metal punch. I don't have a brass punch long enough to get in there good. So what am I gonna do? This. I'm just gonna, I got a small chunk of brass and I just duct taped it to a longer, it's actually an old U-bolt that I cut that I use as a punch. So yeah, hopefully this fits in there. Let's find out. Give me a good solid, hun, come on. I think it moved. No, maybe, I don't know. That's just in there. This ain't good. This ain't good. This is not good. Ow, that was my knuckle. Dang, this is not good, people. Not good at all. All right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I know. This is the total wrong thing to do. But I've heated it. I've hit it with a wood block, and you saw my makeshift brass rod. I mean, you know, what else am I going to be able to do? Let's get this done. This sucks. All right, it's a few days later, and as you can see right there, I cracked this piston. Yeah, that sucks. So I did, I cracked it, and then I was like, dang it. So what did I do? I went and do super clean mode of my garage. Why? Because I just wanted to feel like I did something good. Obviously, I didn't do that thing any good. Sucks. All right, so yeah, I cracked it. So I've got, my eyes, one of two options. I could tear it all down and rebuild it, which I have zero time for because I've already got a flathead Ford that I got to rebuild, and I got it back from Bacon Blast a while back. I got to get that thing bored out, and I got to get a crack-a-lacking on that. So, or I could part this thing out, which rebuild it or part it out. I'm probably going to part it out. I'm sorry, guys. This was epic fail, you know. But I mean, with a stuck motor, you always know there's that chance, you know, that it might not break loose. And it was. There was so much rust in here in this number one. It was bad. And I still didn't even get number 7 loose. So I mean, what do you do? You get stuff together and you get ready to list it on Craigslist or Facebook or the Evil Bay or whatever. So, or maybe you'll see it at a swap meet. Maybe you'll see it at Iowa. I don't know. So, but it is what it is. It sucks, but it is what it is. So, with that epic failure, I think I'm going to call that an episode. Thank you for watching. It is appreciated if you can like and subscribe so I can try to fail at other things and show you. That would be appreciated. Thanks again for watching. Take care.